You want to know how fast your life can turn to dust? Let me tell you, the HOA bulldozed my lake cabin to make way for their shiny hotel, and they had no clue who they were messing with. I mean, they rolled up at sunrise with diesel engines, bulldozers, grinning like sharks at a family picnic, and just flattened the one place my wife asked me to rebuild before she died. Her ashes, yeah, they were right there in that stone hearth I built with my own hands. The HOA president, Catherine Malaloy, she just smiled, waving some cheap fake paperwork, while her goons turned my world to rubble. And let me tell you, she thought she was fighting a quiet old man. What she didn't know, my whole family are federal agents. And while she plotted her little resort, my kids were about to uncover every crime she'd buried under those manicured lawns. So before you blink, drop your location in the comments because you're going to want to see how this plays out. Now, I'm not a man for drama, but that morning, the first thing I heard wasn't the crash. It was the growl of a diesel engine where no engine should be. The air was cool, full of pine and wet earth. I'm standing on the porch, coffee steaming up my glasses, just breathing, just trying to have a morning. Then came the splintering, that crack that means something you love is about to be gone forever. Years in the Navy taught me the sound of good wood giving way to brute force, and this was it. I dropped my mug, walked toward the tree line, not really thinking, just running on some kind of instinct older than words. There it was. A yellow bulldozer halfway through the front wall of my cabin, Sarah's cabin. Two HOA types in crisp polos, one with a clipboard, the other filming on their phone, that smug little smile that makes you want to spit. I tried to run, but you ever see an old man in a hurry? My knees were screaming, but my heart was louder. I yelled, but the bulldozer's roar swallowed me whole. Then Malaloy herself steps into my path, holding up her hand like she's directing traffic, her face stuck on this condescending, syrupy pity. "Mr. Riker, please don't make this any harder than it has to be." And right behind her, my cabin gives out, the roof collapses, stone fireplace buckles, dust explodes into the morning air. That hearth was Sarah's. Her ashes were mortared right in the base. That's what she wanted our forever spot, Tom. She'd said eyes bright even when her body failed her. I looked at Malaloy, voice barely holding together. "What are you doing?" She just shrugged all business, waving her pen at the ruins. "It's been rezoned for community use, Mr. Riker. Your cabin was a violation. We sent a notice. I never got any notice. Checked my mail every day, lived for it, honestly, just for some noise in that empty house." But she went on explaining in that voice people use on children and the dying, how they used a private land trust, some shell company, and in a blink the one thing I had left was an eyesore. 2 years I spent fixing that place up after Sarah passed. Replaced every board, reglazed every window, laid every stone in that fireplace. It was my promise, my church. Now it was just mud and splinters. I felt hollow. I'll admit it, ready to drop on that muddy ground. I tried to get to the hearth to find the urn, but one of Malaloy's security goons stopped me, monotone voice. "Active demolition site, sir. You need to stay back." My only hope was an appeal. There had to be rules, right? Laws. I spent 2 days at the county office, hands shaking, filing waiting. A week later, the HOA sends a white envelope, property review hearing date set. I put on my only suit, the one from Sarah's funeral, and showed up at the community center right on time. Place was empty. Receptionist glanced at my letter, shrugged. "Oh, that appeal was denied 2 weeks ago." This is just a formality letter. She wouldn't even look me in the eye. I just stood there, heart beating ice, when Malaloy strolled out, laughing into her phone, looked right at me. "You missed your chance, Mr. Riker. But I think you'll love what my cousin is planning. A lovely boutique hotel, great for property values." Her cousin. That's when it clicked. This was a land grab. They hadn't just torn down my cabin. They spit on Sarah's grave, all for a payday. When I got home, the lot was scraped clean. Not even a splinter left. My neighbors wouldn't look at me. Curtains twitching, doors closing. They were scared of her. That's when it really hit me. I didn't just lose a building. I lost Sarah again. For days, the silence in my house was suffocating. I'd look out at the lake and see nothing but a muddy scar. I'm not a man who breaks Navy toughens you, but this was different. This was a promise broken. I tried to distract myself in the workshop, but even the smell of sawdust, usually a comfort, just made it worse. That's when I remembered 10 years back, Sarah came home from an HOA meeting, pale and quiet. Malaloy had threatened her people who caused trouble find trouble. I'd brushed it off. She's just a busybody, honey, let it go. Sarah looked at me disappointed. She's a bully, Tom. Bullies don't stop until someone makes them. I hadn't listened. Now the bully had erased her grave. That night I called my family not for help, but for a muster. Daughter Maya, FBI. I'll be there, Dad. Son Leo, ATF Bomb Squad. See you Sunday, Pop. Brother Robert. Secret Service thumbs up emoji. Nephew Kevin DOJ Cyber, count me in. We filled the house with pot roast and stories. After dinner I told them everything. The bulldozer, the fake meeting, the hotel, the urn, and the fireplace. Silence, heavy, angry, focused. Maya's jaw clenched. Leo's fists went white. Robert's eyes turned cold. Kevin just stared at me, deadly serious. Then Maya said what I hadn't dared admit. She knew Mom's ashes were there. Leo said, "This isn't a zoning fight. This is an attack." Robert voice flat. "You picked a fight with the wrong family, Catherine." And Maya with that fire in her eyes. "They don't get away with this, Dad. Not this time." That was it. Grief burned away. All that was left was resolve. After that, Malaloy escalated. Petty fines, $50 for noise using a handsaw in my own workshop. $100 for improper storage, reclaimed oak, stacked neat as you please, each one a little jab. I paid them, said nothing, let her think she was winning. Then she sent a guy to inspect my property, a weaselly HOA type taking photos of my grandkids in the yard. I chased him off, installed trail cams, and my neighbor Eli, old lineman with a bad back, showed up to help me put up new fence posts. Next day, HOA fined us both $200 for unapproved structural addition. Eli just spat, let him try. But I'd seen it before. They stack the fines, tack on legal fees, bleed you dry, then put a lien on your house. Neighborhood went quiet. Mailboxes got smashed. Private security cars started rolling by. A local nobody named Randy patrolled like he was SWAT, sitting across from my house for hours. One night someone cut my generator line, amateur but dangerous. My trail cam caught it, Randy pliers in hand. I sent the video to Leo. A week later, the EPA showed up at Malaloy's office about illegal fuel spills, and Randy disappeared. Small win, but it mattered. Meanwhile, Maya dug into the land trust and found something. The HOA never legally owned the lake. The paperwork was fake. Kevin found a forged notary stamp. A Cynthia Webb from Nevada didn't exist. But you know who does? Catherine Malaloy's sister in Reno, a receptionist, not a notary. It was all smoke and mirrors. Robert called in a favor to a friend at the federal fraud unit. They were interested, but the feds moved slow. I needed to hit back my own way. Buried in state law, I found the Veteran Land Protections Act, a forgotten clause about protecting vets from predatory land grabs, especially if federal funds were involved. Kevin traced the hotel money, pandemic relief funds laundered through shell companies. Fraud, tax evasion, misuse of federal relief. I filed an emergency injunction at the federal annex, not to get the cabin back, but to freeze every HOA account, all those extorted fees, every last cent of their federal funds. 2 days later, notice went up, HOA accounts frozen. Malaloy panicked, tried to flip the script, accusing me of harassment, elder abuse. I just let her talk. The real battle was coming. The town hall meeting was standing room only, air thick with tension and old coffee. Malaloy played the martyr, blaming me for the crisis, spinning lies. But when she opened the floor, I stood up calm. "As you please. My name is Tom Riker. I'd like to make a statement." 30 seconds, she said. That's all I needed. I played a recording, Malaloy and her cousin plotting to get rid of that old shack and build a spa. Then I showed the forged deed on the screen, pointed out there's no notary named Cynthia Webb. And finally, drone footage of the protected wetland full of the cabin's debris dumped illegally. The room erupted, gasps, shouts, years of pent-up anger breaking loose. Right then, a gray-suited man walked straight to Malaloy, speaking into her live mic. Catherine Malaloy, I'm investigator Chin State Financial Crimes. You're being served. The room exploded in cheers, neighbors yelling, "We're done being afraid, motions flew remove." Malaloy's chair dissolved the board. Votes shouted down the old regime, years of fear gone in a tidal wave. Afterward it felt quiet, almost too quiet. Malaloy was cornered, desperate. She broke into my workshop one night, crowbar in hand, searching for evidence. I watched on my phone, called the sheriff. She got hauled off in cuffs, still screaming. He set me up just like a bad movie villain at the end of her rope. Soon after, the feds charged her, her cousin, and 2 board members with wire fraud, tax evasion, conspiracy, violations of the Clean Water Act, the works. She took a plea deal. I filed my civil suit and won full restitution, triple damages. But the money wasn't the victory, the judgment was. Next meeting, one agenda by unanimous vote, the Lakeview HOA was dissolved forever. The seized funds started a new trust, Lakeview Veteran Conservation, and my neighbors made me the first trustee. That spring, the trucks came back, not bulldozers, but lumber concrete neighbors, with dusty pickups, everyone pitching in. We didn't just rebuild the cabin, we made it stronger with bigger windows, better stone, more laughter. The Millers helped Eli, never missed a day. My grandkids handed me nails like it was treasure. When we finished, I set a new bronze plaque on the mantle, her name, her years, and 4 little words beneath, "We kept our promise." So tell me, when justice finally catches up with a bully, is it ever really enough? Or do you think forgiveness has a place after all? That drop your thoughts below, share your own stories. And if you believe in standing your ground, hit that subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.